So leg press.
Leg press. All right. Tell me about it. Leg press. What is it?
Why don't you tell me about it?
Okay.
Okay.
We're on a machine. Tell me the difference first off in terms of why is a Cybex leg press different?
Oh, yeah. Not just a Cybex leg press, a Cybex pivot press.
Pivot press, sorry.
The reason I like the pivot press we have here at headquarters, like that, headquarters, I like it because the platform actually rotates with the machine. So as you come back, it rotates. So it tends to be, you can tend to get much deeper in a leg press without your back coming off of the padding. So what you don't want to do, you see a traditional leg press at a gym that has a static platform that doesn't rotate, people will go really far back and you'll see their hips start, you'll get the kind of butt wink on a leg press, which is going to start loading up the ligaments in their lower back instead of loading up the muscles. So we can get a much wider range of motion on that machine, which is what I really like.
Okay, let's talk the adjustability of a regular leg press for what most people are going to be seeing in the gym. You've got obviously the back rest can go further back or can be further forward. Why would I choose either one?
Well, that's a good question because I never actually move them. I try to stay just at 45 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things is with the backrest, you could probably get a little bit more range of motion if you did lay it back a little bit. It's a little bit easier for people. It's not something I really recommend people doing though. What I'm more interested in is looking at like where you're putting your legs and where you're rotating your feet. Okay, so just like if we talk about a squat, like we talked before about a cyclist squat and a hack squat, barbell hack squat, things like that, when you're putting your feet a little closer together, it tends to be a bit more quad dominant. It also tends to lessen some of the range of motion. As you put the feet wide, just as in a squat, it tends to push it more in the posterior chain.
Now you can set that leg press up, I guess, the same way you would a squat in terms of then allowing that full range of motion. So someone, for example, going into a narrow stance, they may not get as much range of motion depending on hip mobility.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to, because one thing is you're not going to have, for most people, unless they're Cirque du Soleil people, they're just not going to have the laxicity in their joints to be able to move that far. And if you are that mobile, you probably don't want to load it like that. And then with the feet in front, you're going to be limited by your torso, right? So as you bring the legs out and pull the knees out a little bit more, you're typically able to get a lot more range of motion in that in a safer position.
Okay, cool.
I think one more thing on the leg press is that I think in a commercial setting, if you don't have a pivot press and it's this kind of static foot plate, for a lot of people taking the load off and just doing single leg presses might actually be a better, safer position, right? You tend to not load it up like an idiot. You see these guys, they'll load up every plate and they'll move it like a 16th of a movement, right? So by allowing yourself to go with one leg, you're gonna get a lot more rotation in the hip where you don't have to worry about being locked into that position. And so you can typically go a lot deeper than that.
Okay.
Yeah.